Welcome everyone to the Right Fit Marriage Show, your one-stop for tips to help you succeed in marriage. Today we're going to look at the topic 5 habits that promote a safe environment in your marriage. 5 habits that promote a safe environment in your marriage. What do you think are the characteristics of a marriage that is safe? If a marriage is safe, if the environment between a husband and wife is safe, what do you think are the things that we will see in that relationship? What should we see in it? What kind of an environment will be a safe marriage? While I wait for you, to share your thoughts with me, because like I said, it's an interactive program, I would like to hear from you as well and learn from you. Now, the truth is this: marriage is not always fun and laughter and romance. That's what we want. We want everything to always be good between us and our husband or us and our wives. But the reality of life is that marriage is not always fun. It's not always laughter. It's not always romance. But the truth is, there are times when things are going well in your marriage and everything that you and your husband or you and your wife do is building your relationship, is making your relationship better. All of you are enjoying it. And then there are also times when you and your spouse get on each other's nerves, or you do things that hurt one another. And then there are even times, in your marriage that you'll be thinking, this our relationship, is it going anywhere? Are we heading for a breakup? Are things going to fall apart? If we will admit the truth to ourselves, the fact is that troubles and difficulties come up in marriage. Sometimes they're health issues, sometimes they're financial issues, sometimes they're family issues, parenting issues, even spiritual issues. All kinds of issues crop up from time to time in marriage. From your own experience or from the experiences of other people around you, what are some of the troubles, difficulties, and challenges that you see marriages facing? Please share them with me in the comments box as well. But like I said, what we know is that if couples will be honest, marriages are not always rosy. Sometimes there are thorns, sometimes there are difficult parts. Some other difficulties are sexual difficulties, sometimes difficulties with having children, sometimes infidelity crops in. Now, success in marriage is the ability to overcome these difficulties together. And in my notes, I put together in capital letters, because marriage is something that happens between two people. So if you are to have success in your marriage, I would define success in marriage as the ability to overcome whatever challenges you have in marriage together. And then after you've overcome them, you and your partner remain in that relationship and you are there together in happiness. That's what I would define as success in marriage. But the thing is, for you to achieve success in marriage, you have to create a safe environment between you and your partner have to work together to create a safe environment. Sometimes it is you who will first learn how to create a safe environment, and then as you model it for your partner learns from you. But what is guaranteed is this: if a marriage is not happening in a safe environment, if a marriage is not happening in a safe environment, chances that marriage will be successful is very slim. So what exactly is a safe environment? I think that's the thing that we want to first of all know. A safe environment is something that both the husband and wife have capacity to influence. A safe environment is something that both the husband and the wife have capacity to influence, and the two of them have to work together. I like an illustration that somebody gave me of marriage a long time ago at a wedding reception. This was what the chairman of that reception said. He said, marriage is like riding a bicycle. And then he said, when you are riding a bicycle, if both legs are up at the same time, that bicycle will not go anywhere. So to ride a bicycle and make progress move forward, when one leg is up, the other one will be down. When the second leg is up, that one too will be down. So in the matter of creating a safe environment in a relationship, both partners have something to contribute. Marriage is also like a dance. And sometimes if you are dancing to music that you have not heard before, or you are trying out a style that you have not done before, the possibility that you will step on your partner's toes or your partner will step on your toes is also there. The question is, how are both of you going to learn the dance so that you will reduce the incidences of stepping on each other's toes, of injuring one another? So in a safe marriage, in a marriage environment that is safe, what you will see is this. Number one, when one partner steps, let's say the husband steps on the toes of the wife, in a safe environment, the wife will acknowledge that the toe is hurting them. They will open their mouth and tell their husband, dear, you stepped on my toes and it's paining me. And the husband will also acknowledge that, he hurt his wife and would apologize to her, and, they would work things together. So in a safe marriage environment, husband and wife are able to tell themselves when they are upset. And when the person who is upset says, I'm not happy, and they show it, the other partner is caring in the way that they respond. So both the person who is hurt and the person who did the hurting, both of them are open to one another. They talk about what happened and they're able to resolve it and move on. When you find that consistently you are not able to do this in your relationship, then your relationship is not safe. And some of the tips that I'm going to share with you this evening is going to show you ways by which you can promote a safe environment in your relationship. I'm still waiting because I asked you people to tell me what are some of the things that characterize a safe marriage environment from your own perspective. What will make you feel that the relationship I have with my husband is safe, or the relationship I have with my wife is safe? But as for me, I've said to you that a safe marriage environment is when both partners are open. They're not afraid to talk about difficult issues. They're able to open up to one another when they hurt. That is, if the wife hurts the husband is able to tell the wife. If the husband hurts the wife is able to tell the husband. And whoever did the hurting will listen, and then both of them will resolve it together and move forward. Remember, I said that success in marriage is when a husband and wife together overcome the difficulties in their marriage and then go on to live happily. So now that we know what a safe environment is, the truth is that there are some habits that promote a safe environment. There are other habits that make an environment unsafe. This evening, I'm going to share with you 5 habits that promote a safe marriage environment. So I'm saying that these 5 habits I'm going to share with you tonight, if you practice them consistently over a period of time, your partner will become more open to you, and they too will begin practicing it, and you would have an environment that is safe in your marriage. The first habit number 1, is this. Focus on the positive. Focus on the positive. Now, I'm going to put a caveat here. There are some bad relationships, I know. So maybe, if you're in a situation of abuse, any type of abuse, verbal abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, you may have to look at these things with care. And in fact, maybe I should just say up front, if you're in that kind of a situation, perhaps you can chat with me in the inbox and I can give you counsel about what to do and who to go to. But if your marriage is not an abusive situation, even if there are some difficulties presently, these habits will serve you very well. And so habit number 1 is focus on the positive. What do I mean by focus on the positive? The thing is this. Your husband or your wife has some positive attributes. No matter how upset you are with them, there are things about them that you admire. There are things about them that you like. I'm not saying maybe they're beautiful or handsome. I'm saying that, for example, if there's somebody who pays bills on time, that's something to look at. If there's somebody who cares about your family of origin, that's something. If there's somebody who helps you to do something around the house, that's something. So when you're going to promote this habit in your life, I'm saying focus on the positive things. Focus on the positive attributes that your partner has. John Gottman of the Gottman Relationship Institute said something. He said, personal relationships do well if for every negative interaction, the couple have 5 positive interactions. And I'll let you know what that is. For example, a positive interaction is when your spouse does something for you and you commend them for it. A positive interaction is when your spouse behaves well. Say your spouse got dressed and you like how they're looking, you commend them. So you do things that Yoruba people say, Omori Nwawu. I don't know how to translate that one in English. But what it means is that, when the person does something that is praiseworthy, when the person does something that is admirable, look out for such things and commend them. That's what focusing on the positive means. So that by the time there is a negative interaction between the two of you, the memories of the positive interactions will not make things look so bad. Think for it yourself. If somebody is constantly criticizing you or constantly pointing out what is wrong about you, when they do it again, you'll be on the defensive. That's exactly how it is with everybody. But if somebody is somebody who is always having encouraging words for you, who is always praising you, who smiles at you, who treats you well, when they say a sharp word to you, you will give them the benefit of a doubt. Why? Because the one negative interaction is sitting in the middle of many positive interactions. So habit number 1 is, consistently focus on what is positive about your partner. I'm not saying they won't hurt you, but I'm saying look for the things that they do that you like, that encourage you, that are praiseworthy, and tell them. Tell them. This is not something that you will say in your heart and say he did well or she did well. Actually go to the person and say, Tunde, you know what? I really appreciate what you did for me today. Or you say, Jumoke, you know what? I so love the way you care for our children. Focus on the positive. That's habit number 1. Now, habit number 2 is practice what I call the unnecessary talk of love. Practice the unnecessary talk of love. This is what the unnecessary talk of love is. the unnecessary talk of love means that even something that you think your partner knows, there are sometimes you'll be thinking, do I have to be telling you that I love you every day? I love you now. Yes, your partner knows that you love them, but it won't hurt them for you to tell them every day. Another example of unnecessary talk of love is if you come home and you are tired, or you have had a bad day and it is showing on your face and you are thinking, she ought to know that I'm tired and I'm not feeling too good. When you practice the habit of unnecessary talk of love, you will actually say, my dear, I had a really bad day today. Or, another way is when you wake up in the morning and you're going out to your work or you're going out to wherever it is that you're going out to. Unnecessary talk of love is when you're saying bye-bye to your spouse, to go to them, hug them and say, what? I'm going to miss you, Sha, when I get to the office. Of course, they know that you are going to miss them. But when you tell that to them, when you practice the habit of the unnecessary talk of love, what you're saying is that, your partner is important to you. What you're saying to them is, I'm thinking about you. And I'm thinking about our relationship. So, there are many things that you are thinking, my wife knows now, my husband knows now. No. When you are practicing the habit of unnecessary talk of love, you actually take those words and speak them and let your partner hear them. So telling your husband or telling your wife repeatedly, I love you, have a nice day, how did your day go? Why is your face looking like this? I've had a really bad day. Voicing those words is telling your partner that you care about them and that your relationship, so you are not leaving anything to assumption. Anything that you want them to know, you are actually telling them. That is what I call the habit of the unnecessary talk of love. Now, if you're just joining us, this is the Right Fit Marriage Show, your one stop for tips to help you to succeed in marriage. And today we're discussing the topic 5 habits that promote a safe environment in your relationship. And I've already mentioned 2 habits. The first one is focus on the positive about your spouse and about your relationship with them. The second one is practice the unnecessary talk of love. The third habit is this: use hugs and kisses to capitalize on what I call body memory. In our culture, hugs and kisses, they appear not to be part of our culture. But the thing is that they're important. Anybody who you reach out and you embrace from time to time, they're going to be remembering a lot about you. So the third habit is use hugs and kisses. Hugs is embracing them. Embracing them. The person is your husband, the person is your wife. Embrace them. In fact, embrace them from the front, embrace them from the back, embrace them from the side, but just embrace them. That's my own. Embrace, touch them playfully. What does this habit do for you? When you touch somebody in a loving way, when you touch somebody in a playful way, long after you have touched them, they still remember that feeling. They still remember it. So when you touch your partner regularly, it reminds them of your relationship with them. And some of the good times to really hug is when you're separating in the morning, when both of you are going to work. Hug one another and wish each other a nice day. In the evening, when you return, you haven't seen each other for about 8 hours. Hug one another as you're talking about how your day went. When you do this habit number 3, long when you are not together, The person is longing to see you again. They have memories of your body touching their own. If you are like me, you'll be remembering the cologne that your husband uses. The aroma, the odor of it stays with me, and I'm looking forward to him coming back at the end of the day. So that is habit number 3. Use hugs and kisses to capitalize on body memory. Leave memories with your husband. Leave memories with your wife. It seems to me that network is poor today. I'm not seeing all the people who are online with me, but I hope that you are hearing me. Now, habit number 4 is this. You and your partner, whether it's your husband or your wife, cultivate both common interest and separate interest. There is a general belief that you and your husband must be doing everything together. You and your wife must be doing everything together. But even identical twins sometimes have different interests. How much more you and your spouse who are not identical twins? What this habit is saying is this. Number 1, identify the things that you and your husband or you and your wife enjoy doing together. It may be watching movies together. It may be an interest in sports. It may be music. It may be politics. It may be traveling. It may be going to church and being involved in church activities. Identify the things that both of you enjoy and then do it together. Make plans to do it together. But in addition to that, also identify the things that only you enjoys, but still involve your partner in it. Identify the things that your partner enjoys alone and which don't interest you, and still be interested in that. I always use I always use myself and my husband as illustration. And what do I mean? My husband is passionate about football. Me, I will collapse if I watch a football match. The tension is too high for me. So it's unlikely that you will see me sit down for 90 minutes, watch a football match. But even though I don't watch football matches, the Premier League is starting in August now. I listen to the news about it so that I can have conversation with my chairman about it. And then in the same way, I love books. I can read books even when I'm going to sleep. Anywhere I'm going, I hold a book with me. My husband is not so passionate about books, but still, when he sees an interesting book, he will say, I saw this interesting book, you may want to look at it. Or I'm passionate about marriage. When he's reading the newspaper and he sees articles about marriages, he will call my attention to it. So we have separate interests, separate things that we are interested in, but we still share, we still talk about it together. I don't insist that he must like some of the things that I like. He does not insist that I too should like some of the things that he likes. So habit number 4, you and your partner cultivate common interests, but also cultivate separate interests. You don't have to do the separate interests together, but make sure that you still continue to communicate with one another about those separate interests. Encourage your husband or your wife to do other things which they enjoy, even if you don't participate in those activities. Be interested in their experience of those activities. Let them talk to you about the activities whenever they do it. And you too, find out information so that you can have conversations with them. The final habit that I'm going to share with you today is habit number 5, practice forgiveness. Like I said in the beginning, marriage is like a dance. When you are dancing, it's likely that you will step on one another's toes. And when you step on one another's toes, it hurts. When you forgive your partner, what you are telling him or her is that you believe that they didn't deliberately mean to hurt you, because there is love between you. When a man and a woman love one another, they may hurt one another, But if they truly love one another, can one of them go out and say, today I'm going to plan to hurt my partner? It's not likely that that is what happened. So if they hurt you, if they truly love you, it's probably inadvertent. So forgive them. Practice forgiveness. You know, when you practice forgiveness and at that level, what you're saying to your partner is this: I know you want the best for me because you love me. That's what you're saying when you practice forgiveness. Now, there are 5 habits that I've shared with you today. The first of them is that you should focus on the positive. Yes, your husband or your wife has weak points. Yes, they have things that you're not happy about and so on and so forth. But while you are looking at that and waiting for change, look at the things also that they're doing well. Look at the things that you admire about them and compliment them for it. The second habit we said is practice the unnecessary talk of love. The first one is tell them you love them. They know that you love them, but they also want to hear you tell them. And I gave a number of other examples also, so you can listen again to the broadcast. The third habit is, I said, use hugs and kisses. Give your husband and your wife memories to feed on. So hug them, touch them playfully, give them something to remember about you when they are not with you. Habit number 4 is cultivate both common interests and also separate interests. But for the separate interests, even if you don't do those activities with them, still be interested in it, have conversations with them about it, follow the news so that you would be able to connect with them. And the 5th and final habit is practice forgiveness. When you practice these 5 habits consistently, or if somebody is treating you this way, using these 5 habits with you consistently and on a regular basis, what's going to happen is that you're going to really be open towards them. You're going to be open towards them. You're going to really be happy with them. I'm sorry for the break. Comfort, thank you. I had a little issue with my device and I'm trying to sort it out as I round up. So if you treat somebody in this way consistently, how do you think that they're going to feel? They're going to want to be with you. They're going to think that you're a good person. They're going to think that you don't mean them harm. And so when you step on their toes, they will be more patient with you. That's why these 5 habits are important. That's why I said these 5 habits, they will help you to promote a safe environment. And remember, I said in the beginning, a safe environment is an environment in which you and your partner, when you step on each other's toes, you are able to approach one another, you are able to talk to one another, and you are able to resolve issues. Success in marriage is when you and your partner together overcome the difficulties in your marriage and move forward together as a couple. That's what success in marriage really is all about. When you practice these habits consistently and on a regular basis, something is going to happen in your relationship with your partner. Something is going to happen in your relationship with your husband. Something is going to happen in your relationship with your wife. Your partner will sense that your heart is open towards them. They too will want to open up towards you. The environment in your relationship will become safer. Both of you will be sensitive to each other's needs. You will not want to hurt one another. You will exercise care. And even when you hurt one another, it will become easier to discuss the hurtful situation and you move on from it. Now, how these habits will be practiced depends on individuals, but all of them are important. So I'm going to close with these questions. Which of these 5 habits that I talked about today do you already practice regularly? If you're when you're listening to the replay, please share with me. I really would like to know, which of these habits do you already practice regularly? Which one of these habits are you going to start wowing your husband or your wife with? So my closing words on the program today is this: start a new chapter in your relationship. Start a new chapter today. Begin to intentionally create a safe environment in your relationship with your husband or with your wife. Practice these habits consistently and then see what will happen. To end today's show, here is the marriage quote. Every week I share a quote with you. The marriage quote for today is this: make it your goal to create a marriage that feels like the safest place on earth. Make it your goal to create a marriage that feels like the safest place on earth. Safe not only for you, safe for your children, safe for people who come to your home to stay with you. Be intentional so that when people enter your space, they're going to be thinking, wow. Just like Bukumi said, there's a peaceful aura between this couple. The person who said the words of those quotes is Gary Smalley. He is now dead. He died some years ago. Before he died, he was the president and the founder of Smalley Relationship Center, and he wrote many books. So, at the Right Fit Marriage Academy, we have many resources that show you practical ways to build the relationship between you and your husband and you and your wife. Visit our website at www.rightfitmarriage.com or join our Facebook community to access the resources that we have. If you want to join our Facebook community, in the post on top of this broadcast, the link to join the Facebook community is there. Just click on it and it will take you there to join. If you enjoyed the show today and you found it helpful, please share the broadcast with your friends. Next Thursday. Great, Bukumi. You're already doing 5 and 4. I'm so glad about that. Yes, cultivate numbers 1, 2, and 3. And when you start practicing them, whatever result that you're seeing, please share with me. I would love to know. My inbox is always open to welcome you. So next Thursday, same time at 7 p.m., I'll bring you another episode of the Right Fit Marriage Show, your one stop for tips to help you to succeed in marriage. Have a really, really restful evening. Bye.